Good afternoon, everyone. So, the heart's racing already. Here we go. You always know I'm going to talk about something I find it difficult talking about when I feel sick and the heart's racing. So, last night I attended my first men's group Bible study, and straight off the bat, I want to thank Adam Lowe and Luke Streets, Rafferty Arundel Clark, and all the gentlemen who I have yet to learn the names of off the top of my head that attended the Bible study last night, because of how welcoming, thoughtful, and just amazing they all were in accepting me and Rafferty there for our first time. This is something that I could never have seen myself doing just 8-10 weeks ago before I went to Thailand, and the fact that we sat there for 2.5 hours last night in a room with 20-25 people in it, all men, all from different denominations and walks of life and different upbringings, different life paths and different views and beliefs on other subjects but Christianity. It really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and again, I just want to emphasise how grateful I am for the welcoming that me and Raf got. It was a bit easier for Raf wanting to come than me. He's obviously been a Christian a lot longer than I have, and I haven't been baptised yet, so I still find it hard saying I'm a Christian, but I will be getting baptised, and I will be sticking to my faith, and I want to learn more. I want to learn the language. I want to learn the scripture, and I want to become a part of this community after my experience last night, because as I'll go on to detail, it was magic. It was something that, the easiest way for me to explain it is like this. Like, I had a lot of, I wouldn't say anxiety about going there, but I'm someone that in this last 10 weeks, being able to rid myself of all substances, live my life the way I should have been living it for a very long time, I can now acknowledge that I think I was living with a constant panic attack since I was young. Like, I mean real young, like 11, 12, 13, 14. I think I've somehow managed to exist in a world and a reality where I felt worse than I feel right now talking about this. Like, my heart was constantly racing, and let's have a look. Well, it's only at 125 beats. That's not too bad. But yeah, like, I feel like my existence was just so crazy that I lived with having a constant panic attack, where I was just always hyper vigilant, hypersensitive to people's words, overstimulated by large groups of especially men. If you put me in a room with more than 2 or 3 or 4 men, I was so overstimulated by the thoughts of possibilities and outcomes and hypotheses and things that could happen, things that could go wrong, that I struggled to interact and engage on a personal level, because I was too busy thinking, are you going to attack me? Is this going to happen? Is something bad going to happen? Basically, I'd always have that underlying thought or thoughts that something bad was going to happen if you put me in a room with heaps of men that I didn't know. And it wasn't that I'd do something bad, because I've said this countless times. I'm not someone that'll just turn on someone and attack them. I'm not someone that's ever been like that, but I've experienced it time and time again. And for that reason, I had some, concerns going, and I know I'm going to a place that are full of good people. Loey and Luke had assured me that these were all great people, and I was going to enjoy myself, or they hoped that I'd enjoy myself and take something away from it. And, they were dead right. I really did. And it made me realise, being in that room after about just 5 minutes, that I wasn't having that panic attack that I'd been having ever since I got back to Tasmania. I haven't been in a room, in a place, not even my own house, since coming back to Tasmania, where that feeling and that thought and that, it's not that I constantly am in some state of panic or scared, because I'm not saying that. People that know me know I'm not someone that gets scared easily. Like, if I'm scared, you should be scared. If I'm scared, everyone should be scared. Let's put it that way. It's not like that. It's just, as I said, I think I can acknowledge that I was having a really hard time with my life up until coming back from Thailand. And going there last night to this men's group and being surrounded by like-minded people, that all the energy in the room was just so, I don't even know the word. It was just so magic. Like everyone was just so relaxed, and people were sitting. Like, I know this sounds strange to others, but people were sitting where they couldn't actually see everyone in the room. They would have had to look to see the other people in the room. And it's ironic that when me and Raph first got there, people in the room probably didn't notice this, but I stood with my back to the wall so that I could see everyone. And I looked to my right, and there was 4 or 5 blokes sitting there. And within 45 to 60 seconds, this bloke, I don't know if he picked up on it or not, but he stood up and he's like, "Fellas, do you want to have a seat?" And the seats that he offered to us were exactly where I would have, if someone said, "Is there anywhere you'd like to sit?" I would have said right there. And I know that sounds stupid, but it's because no one can get behind me or walk behind me or be behind me. And I know that sounds stupid, going to a men's group Bible study, but that is my defense mechanisms kicking in, underlying. Like, if I couldn't have sat there, I wouldn't have made a deal about it. I would not have said a word. I would have sat wherever they asked me to, but I would not have been comfortable. I probably wouldn't have relaxed as much as I did over the course of the Bible study. But after about 5 minutes, I've got an observation disorder. I can't help but make sure I'm in a safe space. Once I'm committed to being there, I have to know what's going on around me. I have to know that everyone's, calm and relaxed, and no one's heightened and gonna go, because I'm a chameleon. I blend in. I assimilate with the crowd. I try my best to anyway, and it's hard when you've been living your whole life having a constant panic attack and you don't know any other way of living. When you walk into a room like that and you see people walking around and coming up to you and shaking hands and all these sorts of things, for me, that's a massive stressor. And like I said, within 5 minutes of us all being there, or me and Raph being there, I relaxed. I calmed down, and my heart wasn't racing, and I wasn't like this. Like, just looking around, seeing if more people were coming into the room from the entrances or exits or things. Like, it actually, it felt amazing. Like, just being present and not being not present, if that makes sense. And yeah, again, I want to thank everyone that was there, because they were also welcoming, kind, open-minded, and thoughtful, in the sense that, it was mine and Raph's first time there, and I was most definitely the odd one out, in the sense that, I've only just turned to Jesus and God. I've only just found it in myself to go out of my way to talk about these things, even though it's been a belief of mine now for about 10 weeks. I couldn't, every time I've tried prior to last night, Mitchell Watson's another one I can talk to about it, but there's very few people I've been able to talk to my beliefs about now without them making me want to stop talking about it. Whether they say things directly to make me question what I'm saying, or whether they ridicule me by saying, "Oh, what are you going to be, a Bible basher? Oh, what are you going to, rah, rah, rah." Like, people just, and this is people close to me, they find ways to say things to make me just go, okay, they don't want to hear it, that's fine. But being in that room last night, this is what I want to stay focused on. I don't want to get distracted. It made me realise that choices, that's something that we spoke about last night massively on. It was the main subject that we spoke about. The choices you make early on in life, middle of your life, your whole life, they define you. And I think that's why I ended up there, like at the Bible study and the men's group meeting, is because I was meant to be there. The decision, I've been asked to go for nearly 3 weeks now, and because each time I had to go, I would have had to go alone and meet Loey, and then Loey would have took me there. I felt so uncomfortable thinking, I can't go like this. Like, I need someone that I know and trust. And I'm not saying I don't trust Loey, but it's like Raph, for example, Mitch, for example. They were the two people that were coming with me on both occasions, and it just fell through 3 times. Twice, sorry. And yeah, I really struggled to commit to go without them. And the other night, Raf just said, right, we're going on Tuesday. And I said, okay, we're going. And yeah, last night was amazing, man. And, like I said, being surrounded by people that don't have you, and it's not that the people, the places and the areas or houses or situations I go and put myself in, I'm not saying the people put me in that panic state. I'm in it constantly. Now, in some of the first videos I uploaded to my YouTube channel, I openly acknowledged that Thailand was the one place that because I'd never left Australia, was the one place where I didn't feel the need to carry weapons. I didn't feel like I was constantly under attack. Even when I'm standing at the shop, just doing my own thing, buying stuff, I am hyper vigilant. And it's a horrible way to live. It is. That's what I noticed last night, being there with these men, these gentlemen. It made me realise that your choices will determine how you feel. So if I hadn't have been there and I'd have been here at home, I probably would have forgotten about the thought of meant to be going to that. But I'd have been here living in me constant panic attack that I just live with day in, day out. And it's like I said, it's not like I'm flustered and, I better look out the window. It's not like that. It's a feeling you get when you've gone from living life to fighting for your life to possibly nearly having to take a life to survive. It's a horrible way to live. Once you've been through it enough times, you can't get out of it. And, well, I won't say that because last night proved to me that there are places in this state, as much as I've said otherwise, I've said I hate this place, I don't want to be here, I want to leave. All these things, they're wrong. They're inaccurate statements I learnt last night because after 5 minutes of being in that room, I felt safe. I felt heard. I felt welcomed. I won't go as far as saying loved, but like when you're in a room with people that are doing nothing but talking about their faith, their own personal experiences, the choices they've made, the hard decisions they've had to, argue within themselves and still come to the right answer and things like that. It was just so contradictory to the life I've lived. It was so different to the experiences and the expressions of oneself that I've had. It was, I don't know, like another great example is this. The only other times that I've felt so welcomed and after time started feeling safe and like I could let my guard down and be my authentic self, which is a loving, caring, vocal, supportive person. That's me as a person. I may not have been shown that growing up, not all my life, but throughout a massive portion of my life, I may not have been shown those things, but I am the first person to say, you've got to pick people up. You've got to lift people up because people need it. Healthy challenging of unhealthy behaviours is something that can change a person's life. I explained this in the video about Greeley and me meeting in jail. It was massive to me. I won't lie. I don't want to get carried away, and I'm not trying to say everyone should come to Bible study. But I really think people should take this and reflect on it. They should reflect on the fact that if I can acknowledge that prior to last night, there isn't a place that I've gone since being back in Tasmania where I haven't had that constant 109, that's not bad, it's better than 125, where my heart's not, like the reason it's like that now is because I'm talking about things I feel like people are going to ridicule me for and try and make fun of me for and put me down for, and that's fine. Because as Luke and some of the others explained last night, Jesus made us realise that you don't push anyone away. You don't give up on anyone. You don't, how did he say it? You don't throw your pearls to the swine. In other words, you don't waste your time, energy and effort in people that clearly don't want it. But that doesn't mean that if they come back to you in a week, a month, a year, a decade, that you say, oh no, you didn't want to listen to me last time. I'm not trying to help you now. You don't be like that. But at the same time, if people don't want to turn to Christianity and Jesus Christ, you don't force it down their throat. You lead by example. You live the best non-sinful life you can. And if you do that, you're doing the best you can. And everything that was said last night, it was just so empowering for me. Like, it really was. And I'm not sitting here pretending like I've read the Bible, because I haven't. I really struggle with it still. I'm not saying that I pray every day, because I try to. I try to think and write down the things every morning that I'm grateful for. And it's challenging. Like, when you're delving into something that you've never believed in before, and now you believe in it wholeheartedly, it's confronting, because it's like with anything. Some people find it hard to take up sports, because I think I went off track before, sorry. The only other places and times that I've felt safe and secure after being there for some time is boxing gyms. And especially most recently, like in the past, say 6-12 months, people and gyms that I've been to now have shown me so much support, have been so kind and welcoming. Team Woods at Latrobe being a great example. Jack Unwin at Lagana, Underdog Boxing. Wayne Clayton down at Lift, Tigers Den Boxing Club. And all their supporting staff and athletes, regardless of the life I've lived, I don't come into their spaces. Yes, I'm having me constant panic attack going there, whether it's the first time or the 10th time. But once I'm inside and I see their faces now, like these times, like tonight, tomorrow, and down the track, I'm not, that panic attack goes away once I realise that I'm not walking into a space where I'm going to be, unhealthily challenged on my past or my actions or things I've said or done in the past, or, it's powerful, man, when you don't have to have a coat of armour around you all the time, where you're just instantly ready to defend yourself. That's a horrible way to live, because none of us are perfect. And, it was hard for me to say it last night, but forgiveness come up. And I explained to the room that, like, perspective on forgiveness, my perspective, really makes it hard for me, because I don't think I could ever forgive myself for the things I've done. And it's not that I don't think I could, I don't think I want to. I don't want to forget any more than I've already forgotten, because to me, that's not right. If you were me, it'd be a bit easier to understand my take on this, but I can just give so many examples where I've had to really sit with my emotions, because people have reminded me of things that I've done that have affected them that I'd completely forgotten about. And for me, to forgive yourself for something like that is, I don't know, it's really challenging for me to understand the concept around that, because if you can forget it, how do you forgive someone or forgive yourself, or, find forgiveness in it if you've forgotten it? It obviously meant nothing to you, but yet you've affected other people's lives probably forever with those actions, words, or outcomes, and yet I forgot about it. So, like, the things that I do remember, it's extremely difficult for me to be like, oh, just forgive yourself, Kane, and move on. Because I don't know, it's just something that I haven't grasped yet. Like, I'm not saying I won't. I'm not saying I don't want to, but at the moment I feel like I can't. So it's like, I can't say, yeah, I want to forgive myself so I can move on with my life, because I can't. But yeah, I strongly encourage everyone. I said this the other day about boxing, and now I'm going to say it about Christianity. I strongly encourage anyone to do one boxing lesson in their life, whether it's one-on-one, take a friend, take your children, get a PT session, or simply just go and watch others engage in it. It may sway you. It may make you go, this isn't such a scary environment. This isn't such a bad thing. This isn't what I thought. This is amazing. Like, you may actually take a different perspective away once you see it with your own eyes. Watching videos and hearing other people talk about it and this, that, the other, that's easy. We can all jump online and watch videos and have a perspective and an opinion and all these things. But until you walk into a boxing gym and meet the staff and meet the supporting coaching staff and meet the athletes and have everyone coming up and introducing themselves and asking you if you're there to take part in the class, or are you just thinking about signing up, are you there to watch, are you there to support, you automatically realise that although combat fight gyms, boxing, kickboxing, MMA, grappling, it doesn't matter, have this stigma around them that everyone there has a chip on their shoulder and their ego's through the roof and this, that, the other. Amongst the combat tested and competitive athletes, it has to be that way. But in terms of a person walking in there and looking at getting into the sport, absolutely not. They are some of the most, for me, they are the most welcoming environments with the most supportive people, because they want to see you bring your whole family there. They want your whole friends group there. They want to see more and more people turning to the things they love. Now, as I said, I'm going to say the same thing about Christianity. I have not even been baptised yet. I cannot, apart from the first part of Genesis 1, the heavens and the earth God created in 6 days, I cannot quote any other parts of the Bible because I haven't studied it hard enough, long enough, and read enough of it to be able to quote the scripture or the verses in the Bible. But what I want to make clear is, just in this last 10 weeks of turning to God, so many positives have come into my life. So many things have changed about me as a person. There's things that I've had in place, inbuilt into my, I felt like it was inbuilt into my DNA, my personality, my thought processes, my core beliefs, things that I have bled for, done terrible things over. They're gone. They are gone. I cannot stress that enough. Like, realising some of the things that I've had to acknowledge this past 10 weeks, it's been heartbreaking. It's been soul crushing. Like, it killed my ego. I'm sure you've all heard of an ego death. It, you know, I explained some stuff to Loey and Rafferty on the way home last night, and, you know, it was hard to talk about, but I felt like it was the right time to share it with other people that, you know, I live with problems day in, day out that I can't voice to just anyone. I have to feel absolutely certain that they won't say something that will upset me. It used to be, I can't say this to them because if they say something, it'll piss me off and I'll get angry, I'll get aggressive, I'll get angry, like, and I'll get defensive, and I shouldn't have said aggressive because, as I said, I'm not like that, but when I say aggressive, I used to be someone that could get really heightened really easily, and I'm not like that now. I'm just not. Like, unless my physical safety is being threatened, you're not going to get a harsh word out of me. You're not going to get me raising my voice and carrying on and smashing shit, and that's the old me. That's the me that didn't understand that we were not put here to live these crazy lives that I lived. We were put here to live the most amazing, beautiful thing that we've been given as humans, which is life, to the best of our ability. To love and support and care and share with others what makes you feel good, and lift them up and pick them up and encourage them to do what makes them feel good. That is what we were put here for. Not the life I lived. Not the life some of you may be living. And I'm not telling anyone how to live. I'm just explaining that I've had some really harsh reality checks this last 10 weeks, and, you know, last night just really solidified that I'm doing the right thing. I'm going down the right path, and yeah. Oh, how about 24 minutes? Right. So I just wanted to thank everyone for being so welcoming to me and Rafferty last night. And, you know, it's funny because in the last 3 days I've been, my brother Greeley started a fellowship group chat, and he's added myself and several others that are really, you know, getting big on the religion stuff and the Christianity side of things and God and Jesus. And yeah, last night Loey added myself and Raf to the group chat that everyone that attended last night to the Bible study and men's group are also a part of. And again, these are things that if you said to me 10, 12 weeks ago, oh, Kane, I'm going to add you to a group chat full of nothing but Christians and God-fearing or God-loving men, I would have said, yeah, no worries, and then removed myself from the group as soon as they done it, like it didn't even matter. Now, it's astonishing to me, like it is, I know I'm smirking, but it's astonishing to me how quickly my mindset has been changed after going to Thailand. The things that have, like I said, dictated my actions, my decisions, my beliefs, my emotions, my thoughts, my feelings, they're all gone. They are gone. I'm not sitting here pretending that I'm a born again man, or that all the things that make Kane Richardson aren't there anymore. If someone punches me in the head walking down the street, I'm going to punch you in the head back. Make no mistake about it. If someone does something, if you kick my dog, I'm going to kick your face. Like, I'm not sitting here pretending that I'm just trying to say how there are a lot of things that have changed about me, and I want to be a good person. That's what I'm trying to get at. I used to use my heartache and my abandonment issues and my upbringing and the things that had happened to me as a way to live my life without consequence. I didn't think about other people. I didn't have an emotional response when people would say things to me that would be absolutely heartbreaking now. And I know this sounds strange, but I have a lot of, in terms of totality, single mothers are the people that reach out to me the most. And I can't talk about it right now because it's still something I can't really speak about without getting upset. But it's so weird that the people the most that reach out to me for advice and to tell me about their situation and ask me for guidance and answers and all these things are single mothers, single women with children. Because now I can't talk about that right now. It makes me upset even thinking about it. But I don't know. I've changed, and to be able to sit here and say that, it feels amazing. I can't tell you, and it's that's not gonna change. That's the best thing, is that so many people that have known me for so long, they haven't heard this stuff, like the stuff I've been saying this last 10, 12 weeks. But in terms of me coming out of prison or coming out of Ashley's or just having epiphanies after crazy drug benders or whatever it was, I was always a big ideas man. I was always someone that seen the light at the end of the tunnel. But once that darkness washed over my eyes, I become the tunnel. I become the lake at the bottom of the fucking river. So to be able to sit here now and acknowledge that finding Jesus Christ and Christianity and God and my new belief system, and to acknowledge that the things that it's changed about me, it's crazy. It's magic. I've got to stop saying crazy because I always use that word, and I'm going to change it to magic, because words are powerful, and the things that you speak come into existence. That's something I've learned. It took a lot of self-talk for me to want to be here right now doing this, because there you go. We're down to 95 beats. We're getting there. We started at 125. And last night was just extremely motivating, empowering, eye-opening, and it's everything that I keep doing with regards to following this path of Christianity, it's doing something to me. That's the crazy thing, is that last night they were talking about moments where you'll just feel touched. Like there'll be something that'll happen and you'll feel compelled to read the Bible. You'll feel compelled to be at church. You'll feel compelled when you're at church to go up and pray in front of everyone. You'll feel compelled. And for me, I feel compelled to keep testing my limits and my ideas and beliefs of what I can be, what I can accomplish in this world, what Christianity can do for me, because it's already done so much, and yet I'm so new to it. I'm uneducated in regards to it. I have little to no understanding of it other than the things that I've looked into and have turned me into a believer of our Creator. And yet the intervention that it's had on me as a person is overwhelming. There's no denying that. There's really no denying that. So I just really look forward to what's ahead, and sending all my love, support to everyone that was there last night, and anyone and everyone that watches this video, and especially everyone that supported me along this journey with their unwavering love and support. They haven't put me down. They haven't made me feel disconnected or isolated from them just because I'm different now that I've come back from Thailand. And I just want everyone to know that it's never too late. Like, it is never too late. So I'm a living example of that. And, you know, I can't tell you how it makes me feel. Like, I just can't. It's magic. Anyway, thank you everyone, and yeah, God bless and have a great day. Much love.